Welcome, Lyndsey.
Oh, hi, Louisa. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming along today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. It really is. I've heard so much about you. So what did you find were the biggest challenges with resetting the business when you came back from the pandemic?
I think our main, our main challenge was just kind of changing our supply chain to try and look at more sort of UK-based goods. It was great that everyone was keen to get back to work. I know in some industries that wasn't always the case, and people were quite happy to stay on furlough, but our staff were really keen to get back in and get working again. So that made a big difference to how we were able to get back up and running. So the main thing was kind of just getting the stock in and being able to get it out to fulfill what the customers needed.
How did you sort of manage the customers' expectations with so much happening with the extension of lead times and difficulties getting the stock?
Yeah, the key to that is obviously just with the communication. The team here have excellent relationships with the customers that we serve. And we have an excellent CRM system, so we're able to email the customers when goods are coming in, so customers know when things are being received. And the guys on the phone are speaking to customers on a daily basis, and we're lucky they've been with us a long time. We have a very low turnover of staff, so the guys who work in the sales team here have got really good, strong customer relationships, so they're communicating with the customers on a daily basis.
So you've got a great team at Star Linen, haven't you? Because as you mentioned, a lot of people have been there for a long time. What is it about the culture and what is it about the business that lends itself to this?
I think that because a lot of us were here from when the company was formed, I think a lot of it is kind of people's feelings about making the business a success. I think that there's a real buy-in from the team here that when the company succeeds, that it's something that we've all contributed towards, and that comes from Stephen as a managing director of this business is very open with how the business is performing, and he talks to the staff here regularly about sort of the sales numbers we need to achieve and things that are going on in the marketplace and the strength of the pound or the cotton price. So they have a real understanding of what it takes to make this business a success. And I think that really helps to get the buy-in of the people you work for when they understand, what it requires for us to make profit. The information they get from Stephen when Stephen's either does an update to the team or just in passing when they're having a conversation with him, it really helps people get an understanding of what we need as a business to be successful.
So it sounds like the whole resetting of the business was really down to a real team effort.
You talk about sort of my dual role, and that's probably the case for every single person in this building. There's nobody that says, well, my job is to speak to customers every day, so I can't possibly go and how about in the warehouse if we're short staffed, or it's a real team effort. And I think the reset after lockdown was helped hugely by the fact that people are willing to do anything it takes to get an order out to a customer.
That's nice, isn't it? Because there is a balance there, because you can get some leaders that say, yeah, I'll empower you to do it all, but don't come and ask me for help. So how do you juggle your time, Lyndsey, between being the general manager and head of marketing?
Well, as general manager, one of my responsibilities is obviously to look after the warehouse. And the number one, obviously, priority in there is health and safety. So we work with some external companies in terms of audits. And obviously, I've got a warehouse team there which manage the warehouse for me on a day-to-day basis. I think a lot of it's just about planning my time efficiently. It's a mixture, I think, of planning and having a good team. I know the guys that work for me down in the warehouse, they don't need me on a day-to-day basis. They know what they're doing, and they come in and they get on the job with the job that they need to do. They only need to then come and see me if there's any sort of queries or questions around what's going on. So it's mainly about that, and the fact that planning the activities, especially with marketing. Obviously, marketing tasks can be planned a month or so in advance. So I try and kind of section my days as much as possible. Obviously, with a small business, things need to be as fluid as they possibly can, but I try and set some days aside where I may just sit and write content for a whole day, because it's easier to focus on one task at a time. And then obviously then there's other days where I do more of the general manager stuff. So I get involved in more of what's going on in the warehouse and kind of planning stock checks. But the day-to-day running of the warehouse kind of happens because the team down there know what's required. So they kind of manage that between them.
I suppose it's about being very versatile, isn't it? It's about having your long-term plan, but then if something urgent comes up, you've got to adapt to it and
yeah.
around. Yeah.
And I think it just depends on, at the moment, we've got a large project going on. We're replacing all the warehouse floor. So obviously when we started that project, obviously there was a discussion between Stephen and I about how much workload I'd have and how much time of mine that would require. So, and Stephen's very aware that, you only have so much time that, there's only so many tasks you can fit in a day. And so we often have a conversation about, right, I'm going to not do this, but I'm going to do this thing instead. So I'm empowered to make those decisions by myself, as well. Mm-hmm. And the team here have been here a long time. So if there is anything that I kind of need help with, or I think that's not going to get done on time, then there are other people in the team here that I can to lean on to help me out with other tasks. So
what's your favourite thing about working for Star Linen?
I think it's kind of the varied role. When I say to some people, I work in an office, they say, I couldn't work in an office and go in there every day and just sit at a computer. But that's not what it's about here. We're a small business, so we get to do lots of, we get to learn about lots of different parts of the business, and no 2 days are the same. So it's a really varied role, especially now the general manager part of it as well. So I suppose it's the variety of the role. And I think also not just the role, but with the company, it's being part of a company that you've seen grow from the start. I think that makes a huge difference. We were talking about it the other day in the office and saying, there's no job that probably out of the 6 of us or 7 of us here at the start, we've probably done every job here, from taking the bins out to packing up boxes, Stephen included, where we're putting desks together. So I think being part of a team that you've seen grow and be part of a company which you've seen succeed over the last 5 years, it is a massive part of why not just me, why everybody enjoys working here.
Lyndsey, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for your feedback. I wish you the very best of success in the future with Star Linen.
Oh, thank you very much.